I'm Josh, and this is my 304CR Coursework 1 zombie shooter project. The main aim of this project was to find a creative way to implement AI behaviours into a zombie shooter, but I was given full creative reign over the specifics of how I could do this. In my Unity project, I've used the following assets: the Unity HDRP, which is the high definition render pipeline, it's a standard asset, the Unity standard assets and collections, the inVector third person shooter controller, which I want to talk about a bit more in detail because I ran into a few challenges by using this one actually, the Windridge city free map, the digital Kontsrukt prototyping pack, which I've used for testing mostly, and a zombie model which was just free on the Unity asset store already rigged. So as I said, I want to talk a bit more about the inVector product. You can see the amazing procedural animations, IK and rig setup that it's given me access to, but it was a complete pain. It cost so much time to get this thing working and to understand and rewrite their API for the purposes of this. It's all one package, but I specifically needed to isolate and remove the AI package they supplied. One of the great things though is, because I've now figured out how to mess with the inVector package, I can use that further in for my own projects. I had to rip out the assets, AI systems, and hot swap them with my own modular AI system. I call it modular because bits of it can be switched on or off based on the available components. No nav mesh agent? No problem. No movement is all you're going to get. No collider? Again, perhaps it's just like an NPC that floats around or something, it doesn't need to collide with things. It's actually an AI script that I wrote for the Global Game Jam 2021 recently. What's being showcased here is a souped up version of that specific script, with a bigger behaviour set and more features, specifically repurposed to fit with the inVector toolkit I'm using. So what does this AI actually do? Well, this zombie style mode I've put them all in basically does 5 unique things. So the first thing is it'll wait patiently or randomly navigate the map. The second thing it'll do is, if a player comes near, the behaviour of the AI will be triggered and it will start to navigate to the player via greedy. If a player attacks them, it will also start navigating to them. Attacking them just instantly triggers them, and again they will path to the player via greedy. The AI will attack any player that it collides with or touches. This is again another fixed state. The AI will also hoard. If a triggered zombie goes near an idle zombie, it too becomes triggered, and then they conglomerate and chase the player together. Now, I've done all this with just an extra trigger collider on top of the normal collider that they all have, and this works really well because you can add tags to things and use these triggered get tag collisions, which allow you to basically easily execute these fixed state machines. So the AI themselves are using nav mesh agents for the most part when tracking a player. They use a fixed state machine to determine their behaviours and sync sound effects and animations together. Most of the behaviours are administered from some form of tagged collision or trigger event. I did run into a few issues however when baking the nav mesh for this specific map, but I managed to fix it in the end by basically increasing the size of the agents. For some additional usability and quality of life, I've also added a score counter and a life counter for the zombies, and an inventory menu for all the weapons and stuff I've added to the game. Just make sure you pick them up. I've added a prompt which basically should just tell you to press a key, pick up the weapon. And so that's that. I hope it was enjoyable seeing my AI in action. Until next time with the next project.